Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Nova War.
And I'm Tyrone.
No.
I'm just joking.
No.
I'm just joking.
That's never happening again after that last shit show.
Oh, I'm bringing it back later. I don't even care. I'm bringing it back.
What?
Oh, sour. Sorry about that misclick.
I almost thought that was going to be a complete and utter drone rush right off the bat. That would have been terrible.
Great.
Awesome. This is Protoss versus Terran here on Zelnaga Caverns.
Thank you.
There's the caverns, how I remind myself. But I still forget that name.
You know what? Good. When we first started, I knew one map.
Now I know two.
I'm about at 3. I know Shakura's as well.
Son of a bitch.
I'm winning
I
all the time.
Need to step my game up.
I'm by winning.
Try winning, actually, if you have 3.
Yes. Awesome.
Hey, Jeff.
Yes.
Hit me up with that noise! Very nice, sir. Up here, I'll go up here. Up here in the top right position, we're looking at the Red Terran, Dirkdiggler. Not exactly sure what that name is referencing, if it's referencing anything at all. Down here in the bottom left position, we're looking at Yenek.
Yenek.
The blue Protoss. This is one of my favorite maps.
Really?
I enjoy playing on this map. I think it's quite balanced. That's why I like it.
Yep.
The only thing that I'm always constantly on the lookout for here when I'm playing a Terran is these areas here. There's a lot of choke points. Siege tanks easily put like right here. Mm-hmm. All your units are coming down, funneling in. Mm-hmm. You get ripped up real bad if you're not careful.
Another thing that people want to take note of is if you look at the very middle with those caverns there. When you're running down from one into another, your units sometimes, not all the time, but they will split up. They'll go on one side of over here and then on the other side. And I've lost a few games that I should have won.
Just because of that.
With that mistake where my units got cut in half and then they got owned. And then when my other units finally made way down, they got owned and I lost when I should have won.
So what Jeff's saying, like he was saying, you know, sometimes, and what usually happens is you have your expansion here, you have your units sitting out front, and you just go down and you go, okay, it's time to attack.
Yep.
And sometimes you'll actually attack A, and maybe you hit up this tower.
Yep.
But because of the unit orientation, some are over here, they go down and around this way.
Yep.
And your others go around the other way. And like Jeff was saying, and I've had the same thing happen to me. You lose games because of that bad timing sometimes.
Absolutely.
And so it's best to, you know, shift click and give them an exact order that you, like the exact path that they should follow, and then that won't happen.
Yep.
And so definitely keep an eye out for that if you're not aware of that ability. Shift clicking your move, very, very useful on maps like this. Almost any map, because even if you have like high ground, low ground, they'll split on ramps as well.
Shift clicking is very, very important. Playing on any race,
definitely.
Even when you're building buildings and structures,
always
be shift clicking.
Always be giving good routes, because a lot of times, for instance, Protoss will wall up, or they'll even build like this in close to their nexus, and they'll pile on themselves in like this, and say this area wasn't here.
Yep.
Sometimes they don't get their units to come out this way; they get stuck in here.
Hating it,
which is the worst feeling in the world.
It's embarrassing.
It is embarrassing.
Especially when you end up on LAGTV and a win cheese fails and you've lost because your stalkers...
And an entire episode is then dedicated to you.
Yeah, that sucks.
That does suck.
What episode was that? Season...
that was season 2,
episode, No. It was the last episode of season 1, maybe.
Was it? It was around there.
It was one of those. Anyways, go back and watch it. It was
You'll
funny.
see what you mean, what we mean. We have a lot of Bobs out here on the field right now.
Yeah, he's getting all the way aggressive here with Zealots. Usually we would see like a Sentry or a Stalker coming out right after the first Bob, but here we go. A Twilight Council.
Maybe charge lots real quick.
Very, very good.
That's a possibility.
Very, very good. I like charge lots.
Yeah, double assimilator with that. Oh, no, we now have a couple of Stalkers out on the field for him right now. Only 2 gateways.
Could he be teching a DT?
Right into Twilight Council. That's another possibility as well.
He's got 2 full saturated assimilators at a fairly early time in the game.
Yeah.
It's not overly early, but he had that gas, gas going
block
for a while. He may be going into DT.
That's that's a possibility. There's a lot of this one building opens up a lot of possibilities.
Yeah. So like when you're a Terran player and you scan and you see a Twilight Council, you see nothing else. Probably wait another minute and then give another scan.
Yeah.
And because there's just a whole slew of possibilities. You can get a scan and see if that Twilight Council is being researched. You obviously won't be able to tell if it's going to be Blink or the charge lots, but he could be getting a Templar archive, which is what he's doing now.
Exactly.
He could be going DT. He could be going so many different things So it's always good to do another scan after you've initially seen the Twilight Council.
Definitely. You know what? Normally, I think what happens is that when they see a Protoss, a lot of lower level players, they know that they're probably only going to do one of like maybe 3 things at most. And so a lot of scouting doesn't happen. Like, they figure, okay, I'm either going to see a 4-gate, I'm going to see a 3-gate, 1 robo, I'm going to see a 3-gate fast expand if he's really getting fancy at the lower levels.
Yeah.
Or
I'm going to get cheesed.
Or I'm going to get cheesed. I'm going to get cannon rushed. And that's really just about it. We are seeing back into Stalker heavy build here, and we are getting that, like Jeff was pointing out, that Templar Archive. Interesting to be getting a Templar Archive when he hasn't really done any scouting to see what is going on up here at the other end.
Yeah, well, you know what? It could be something that pays off. You know, high temps with some storm is so effective.
Super powerful.
Against Marines and that ball. So I'm sure, yeah, here we go. He is researching that now. You know, it's a unit that is underplayed, I find, especially in the lower level leagues. Like the pro gamers, they make good use of them. Very good use of high temps.
Yeah.
But in the lower levels, bronze, silver, platinum, gold, whatever, we don't really see them as much as we should. And especially now that the Archons are a massive unit,
yeah,
and they're so powerful. I'm pretty sure now they can even just run through force fields for Protoss.
Well, if they're a massive unit, then they have to be able to.
Yeah, they just run through them.
That makes them even more useful, especially in a PvP scenario. But yeah, like Jeff was saying, you don't see them a lot in the lower level leagues, and I think there's a good reason for it. I think a lot of lower level players get scared of magic units, where they actually have to do like intensive single unit micro.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
they're not ready for it.
Because it's not just micro. Like, say like a lot of people have control group 1, and that's really it. I use control group 1, and that's it. Depending on the order or the unit composition or the order that you clicked your units, it's the first unit that pops up. For instance, if you just highlight a group of Protoss and a sentries in there, that is the first unit that will show up.
Yep.
You can use your force fields. If you highlight Stalker's first control group and then highlight the rest, you'll have blink ability available if you're more concerned about blink. And you can do that a few ways, but a lot of people shy away from that in the lower leagues, I think, just because of the micro intensity of the high temp.
It's intimidating. It's intimidating.
I am terrified of using high temps.
No, it really is, and it's a game breaker. If you're not confident in your play, then I suggest that you don't use them in a game.
Definitely.
Try to get some practice, and then when you feel comfortable in using a special unit, such as a Templar or a Ghost, you know, with those EMPs and or the Ravens. Anything like that, you know, you have to be comfortable in using it. It can really cost you a game if you're focusing on, okay, I need to press T and do some storm right at the right times, or I'm going to be screwed, and that can really hurt you in a battle if you're focusing too much on your special units and not really worrying about what's actually happening.
Absolutely, and you know, it's hard. Well, it's hard to practice. You know, otherwise, you know, maybe go up against an easy computer. Or sometimes, you know, there's even maps that some players have put together that just allows you to practice your opening builds. You can also just get custom maps, go on there by yourself, and just practice with those units. You know, give yourself, you know, infinite money, and then just, you know, practice with those units.
Absolutely, practice makes perfect in this game. This game you don't play well overnight. I've been playing this game for years. Not specifically this one, but I've been playing Starcraft for years. I mean, the mechanics are very similar as the first game. In fact, it's basically identical. And I've been playing this game quite a bit. I played over 1,200 games on my North American account, and I still suck at this game. So, I mean, that right there goes and tell you, and I am now becoming a StarCraft caster, and I'm still not great at the game. So, it takes a lot of practice.
It does. StarCraft's a very intensive game for that, practice making perfect and all. I just saw it, Charge finished for the Zealots now. That's going to be Charge plus Storms is not great for those death balls.
No, and here we go, and Archon is being made. Do I agree with that? Not really.
No.
I like to get off my storms before. Boom, boom, boom. Get those storms off. Run your Templar away from the back of the battle. Morph those bad boys into an Archon, and then get their asses up there and just start owning Marines. Because that right there, power overwhelm me, will just ruin Marines.
That was one of the worst.
It kind of sounded like an orc.
Sounded like an orc. I was just gonna say that. I was like, this is not Warcraft. How the hell did that happen?
Here, can I hear his voice? Is there a way you can make a sound for me? Does he make noise?
Yes, he's not clicking on him.
You got to right click like the movement, like move over somewhere.
Oh,
no. Yeah, you can't because we're not playing the game.
We're in a replay. We should just give up. we should just.
Wow, so much fail.
We should just give up on casting right now. All right,
can you move him, please?
He's getting another scan off right now. These High Templar have full energy. That's pretty significant here. He's going to be able to get off at least 3 storms very, very quickly right off the bat. Very powerful indeed. Like Jeff was saying, not a great idea to morph your Archons ahead of time unless there's a very, very specific reason for it. Like, you need to be able to attack air, but even then, storming can hit up the air, so it's really not a huge advantage to be doing any morphing into Archon that early on into the game.
And here we go. We do have level 1 upgrades now going for Protoss and Blink as well for those Stalkers. If we go and take a look at the unit production, we have 34 SCVs for the Terran player, opposed to 26 probes for Yenek. There you go. So he is behind a fair amount of probes to SCVs right now. So, you know, the Terran player definitely does have the economy on lock, more so than his opponent. There is 1 Archon on the field, 3 high temp, 14 Zealots, and 12 Stalkers. This is a deadly friggin' army. The only thing this is missing is some sentries, so you can get some good force field micro to keep those Marine and Marauders in the back, or even use them to surround them and allow those Zealots to get in there and then high temp their asses at the same time and make sure that nobody leaves that battlefield. This is huge.
No, that is exactly what you would want to do if you're going up against a Bioball as a Protoss with a similar build to this. If you have maybe 3 or 4 sentries, which is hard to do if you're teching straight to high temp and in a higher, very gas intensive. You're gonna have to do something special to be able to have it, but you only really need maybe 1 or 2 high temps for a push like this.
Yep.
And they are on the way right now. All of them attacking up here. Of course, those high temps slower than molasses uphill in the wintertime, but they will get there on time. And here we go. If he can get in there with his storm.
Sour about that storm.
Sour.
And these Zealots and Stalkers are now just going to go in there and clean up the rest. The medevacs are frantically trying to heal those Marines and Marauders, but that is just not enough. Those Stalkers are just too damn strong.
Not a chance in hell. Barely anything really went down there. Quite a few of the Zealots went down because they were up caught in their own storm a bit. Also getting shredded by that Marine Marauder ball, but that's okay. They took the brunt of the damage. That's exactly what you want those Zealots to be doing. Take the focus off of the Stalker. There was a Raven in there. I'm not sure I saw any point defense drones or anything like that go down. If they did, that's very useful. Yeah. It definitely should have done it in that scenario.
Red throws out a GG, but yet he's still playing. He's got a Super Thor here and a huge feedback. And some storm gonna go all over the defense. Oh my god! Holy, you know what? Honest to God, I have never thought about doing that.
What, feedback and then just storming?
Well, I knew the feedback process, but
like storming the SCVs.
When you've got like this massive, you know, tank of Thor, and you got like a bajillion SCVs repairing it, it's like fighting a planetary fortress. You're not going to kill it.
No.
But using that storm right over all those SCVs and throwing down 2 of those bad boys and just disintegrating all those SCVs and then taking out the Thor, genius.
Very well, yes. And almost in a necessity in that case, because if he had just stood there, he would have got completely destroyed.
Oh, that Thor just would have ripped through everything.
Ripped it to pieces. But yeah, you know what? A bit of a turtle match, but again, lower level league, but good use of high temp in that game, especially for somebody at this level of play.
Yeah.
Very impressed with that.
Yeah,
indeed.
No, it was good. Macro slipped big time, but you know what?
That's just what you expect.
I'm not here to nitpick. I'm just here to
on a micro level, pretty good play.
Yeah, decent.
Pretty good play.
Missed a couple of sentries. That would have been a nice little compliment to the army with some Guardian shields and some force fields. But besides that,
and as we pointed out, don't warp Archons in unless you absolutely need to, or you've used all your energy out of your high temps. That's really the one time you want to do that. But that's about it for this game.
Yep.
Pretty decent. Liking it. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Nova War.
And Maximus Black.
We will see you very soon.
Peace out.
Peace.